how to build a personality and community-facing brand as a bankruptcy attorney. You see it all the time. Some people are on TV, you got the billboards, you got whatever, fill in the blank. Chad Van Horn with Van Horn Law Group in Florida, done it a little different. Chad, Dolphins Fish Tank Partnership, books, video library. You're out there, Inc. 5000. I mean, you are out there all the time. And I just want to unpack this. Like, was this just natural for you? Was there a strategic plan around this? Let's unpack that a little bit.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, Phil. I've always been this way, and I think my friends, my colleagues, people that are probably going to watch this will tell you that I've always been that friend that shows up. If it's an awkward situation, if it's not an awkward, if it's going to be fun, if it's going to be exhausting, if they need me there, I show up. So that's been since I was a kid. That's been ingrained in me from my mom, probably number one from my mom, and then throughout. And it was just natural in my legal career. So I got involved in legal aid upon graduation, actually before I graduated while I was in law school, big brothers, big sisters. And showing up, it's an easy thing to do. And that's 90% of the battle for a lot of these things. If you just show up and then you learn, then you get into these communities and there's so many opportunities out there that if you show up, you get exposed to the opportunities and then take advantage of the opportunities. And that's basically what I've done. I've had fantastic mentors throughout the years that have introduced me to things and I just keep showing up.
Well, clearly it's working. I mean, your growth over the past number of years has been meteoric. I mean, extremely fast. You're now statewide Florida. Now, is it a lot? It must be harder to do it statewide than in Broward County, for example, right? Do you find that, or what are you noticing now that you went statewide?
Yeah, for sure. Initially, I would say yes. COVID, as you know, changed a lot of things, and I think COVID made people more open to working in those virtual relationships. So what we've done with all our advertising, with all the different markets, is I actually go to the markets and I film content in all the different markets. So when we went to Pittsburgh, I went to all my different neighborhoods. I went to my elementary school, talked about my upbringing there, my connection to the different communities so that people know that, I'm not just down here in Fort Lauderdale avoiding the different areas, that I know the issues that are going on in Jacksonville, in Orlando, in Tampa, in Fort Myers, in Tallahassee. I've been to all these places and we're giving back through pro bono efforts. We connect with the legal aids. So you're really becoming part of the fabric of the community and you're not just an outsider in these different areas. And I think people see that, and it's so easy right now to access information about people. And if you look me up, you'll see my whole story. You'll know everything about me. And I think that's a good thing because I want to attract the right client. And maybe I'm not right for everybody, but do your research before giving us a call. And hopefully we can help out individuals everywhere that we serve and keep expanding. And I think that's what we've done a good job with. Obviously, my backyard of Fort Lauderdale, everybody knows me. They see me on my Vespa. They see me driving around. Our office is in the heart of Fort Lauderdale, but we're fortunate now where we've expanded throughout the state and now throughout the country.
So, sort of like what you did in Fort Lauderdale, you started by giving back. You were involved with legal aid. You're involved with the community. So now, as you expand, and in Jacksonville, you mentioned it, you're connecting with legal aid in Jacksonville. You're filming in Jacksonville to sort of like bring that connection in that local market.
Correct. People in Jacksonville don't want to call a 305 phone number, which is Miami's area code. And and I think it's a personal thing, is I don't like the toll-free numbers either, the 888 or 1-800 numbers. So we get local numbers, and we actually hire local people in all the different areas. So like in Pittsburgh, our office manager is from Pittsburgh, actually is related to somebody in my Fort Lauderdale firm, but is originally from Pittsburgh and lives up there and manages the firm. So our messaging in Pittsburgh is very different than our messaging in Fort Lauderdale because people in Pittsburgh deal with different issues than people in Fort Lauderdale. So we want to make sure that as we grow, it's never our goal to be the largest law firm in the country or any of those type of commercials. We want to be that local firm to you, and we want to hire locally, and we just want to have efficiencies that we create that benefit all the communities that we go into.
So will you have any efficiencies amongst multiple offices? Like for example, even if you have not a 305 area code, but a local area code, but it goes to the call center in Fort Lauderdale, or will all the calls go to Jacksonville or Pittsburgh or whatever?
Yeah, it's actually a unified office. So when somebody calls in Pittsburgh, it could be answered in Pittsburgh, it could be answered in Orlando, it could be
Okay.
answered in Fort Lauderdale. When we dial out, we use dial pad. We can choose what number we're going to call from. So we can dial the 412 Pittsburgh number, the 407 Orlando number, or the 954 Fort Lauderdale number. You get to choose that. So that also allows us to have more coverage where we're open 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. and we're open on Saturdays as well, so we can rotate coverage, and it really just becomes more convenient for all of our clients. And I think that's only gonna grow, especially if we go into different time zones
Time
as
zones.
well.
Oh yeah, it's going to help so much. You know, you've maintained your presence because you have an image that's different, right? Like you're in a tie now, but I typically don't see you in ties. You have
Just
longer
came from court.
hair.
Yeah, just
You
came
j-
from court.
you you have a lot of pictures of your dog, you know, with holding your dog. You've maintained your your personality, right? And as opposed to trying to fit the box of an attorney, you've just sort of like made your own mold. Speaking of that a little bit.
Yeah, and it's funny because people tried to mold me a certain way when I was coming out of law school,
Mhm.
and I didn't like how it felt inauthentic, and that really bothers me. Like I would rather just do something else at that point if I need to be inauthentic, if I need to try to fit in. And so, yeah, normally I'll have my, Travis Scott sneakers on, I'll have a polo shirt, or I'll have a button down with my sleeves rolled up, and I feel much more comfortable that way. Obviously, going to court, you gotta dress a certain way, and the judges are in control of that, which I'm perfectly fine with. I follow Gary Vee,
Mhm.
and Gary Vee said something very interesting. When he first started speaking and doing some keynotes, they wouldn't let him in to, like, these Ritz-Carlton places because he wouldn't have a suit on, and he would be dressed a certain way with his T-shirt and whatnot, where security legitimately would not let him in, and he said, "Just keep being yourself because eventually that might be the cool thing." You never know, right? That might be the and it's come full circle where now everybody is in the jeans, the sneakers, the T-shirt while they're giving their keynote. So, I don't know if it's come full circle as far as a lawyer, but it certainly has been my brand, and I believe that clients feel more comfortable with that, where they could speak to me as a human instead of me wearing that power suit, the power tie where, "Hey, look at all my degrees, look at all my awards, you know, you gotta pay me a lot of money and I'll solve your problem." We sit there, we chat about the issues, we figure it out, and then I talk to them more as an equal than anything else because that's I don't care how many plaques you have on your wall or how many degrees that you have. That doesn't make you a better person. And it might not make you a more intelligent person. Might make you intelligent in a certain area. But I think that that's what comes across to our clients is, look, give us a call, no judgment. We do free consultations. We're pretty cool. We're easy to work with. If we can help you, we'll let you know. If we can't, we'll also let you know, and we'll try to find you somebody that can.
Let me pivot to the fish tank, and you're one of these partners. How did that come up, right? Like how did you get asked to be a partner, and then all of a sudden you're in this local area, you know, very niched out for Miami, and then I find it interesting. I mean, you recently went like nationwide exposure with the bankruptcy of Tasha Kibi, right? The
Mhm.
influencer. I mean,
Yep.
it's you know, it just starts local, but all of a sudden you keep saying yes, and next thing you know, you're handling a major brand on a nationwide case, highly public. Like, help me just understand the thought process. Obviously, you didn't know where you're going, but you were just saying yes. Is that fair?
That's it, and again, just show up and,
Just show up.
yeah, just show up. So, OJ McDuffie, good friend of mine, the actually interim head coach of Penn State, Terry Smith, was a mentor of mine growing up. OJ played football with him at Penn State, and when I first moved down here, Terry made that connection to OJ, and he's been one of my closest friends since. Seth Levitt does a fantastic job with the show. They came up with this idea where we're gonna talk about some legal issues at the end of the show, and I can chime in on some different things that are going on. even though I am a Steelers fan and the Steelers play the Dolphins, we joke around with that all the
It
time.
makes some good video, I'm
For
sure.
sure. I mean, it's incredible, and they're just great people that came up with an idea, and almost for all vendors, people that wanna work with Van Horn Law Group, wanna work with me, if they wanna do, like, a month-to-month agreement where let's see if it works out, I'll almost always say yes. If I think it's legitimate and it's on brand, I'll almost always say yes. It's the ones that say, "I gotta lock you into this 5-year deal."
Yeah, right.
Well, if it's so good, why do you have to lock me into a 5-year deal? I mean, I'm gonna keep renewing every month unless there's a heavy lift up front where you gotta pay for the cost of building websites or whatever. So we started doing this and it's been it's been great. I walk down the street sometimes, they're like, "Hey, that's the Dolphins guy." I'm like, Well, hold on, I'm not the Dolphins guy. Like, maybe I'm the
I'm
split
the
game
Steelers guy.
guy. Yeah, maybe I'm the bankruptcy guy. Maybe I'm the
Yeah.
Steelers, but I can't be the Dolphins guy." But that just shows, Seth and OJ have done a great job. They actually just won an Emmy for this, like a local
Good
Emmy
for
for
them.
the
Good for them.
podcast. So they're crushing it. Tasha K, man, she's crushing it as well. And she again, you provide people with opportunities and they have to run with it, and that's what I love to see my clients do, and if there's any way I can support them, I'm happy to do it, and yeah, the nationwide recognition was definitely something that I didn't seek out, and I certainly haven't, but, because of Netflix and because of some of the cases that I've worked on and some of the people that I've worked with, it certainly sought me out, so we'll see where it goes, it is funny though how you're the same attorney, but all of a sudden you get like a USA Today headline or New York Times headline, and all of a sudden people think you're a great attorney. It's like I'm the same as I was a month ago. It's just, I worked on a popular case.
And what's amazing about this is you keep saying yes. I love your saying, just say yes. Just say yes. Just say yes. To the young debtor attorneys watching this, just say yes. Just say yes, because it'll grow, right? Even not just the young ones, but the ones that come to me and ask me, hey, what's my next step? Just say yes. The best part about our industry is consumers. Like you don't know where they're at. And frankly, a lot of them are living in tough times, right? And you just keep say yes, you show up, you don't know where the next client's going to come. Don't do it for that reason. Just say yes, just show up, and it pays off. Chad, anything else?
100%. Yeah, just say yes. Meet people where they are. I know that some people are uncomfortable on TikTok or Instagram, but honestly, just be yourself and be authentic. Put information out there, and good things will come your way.
Thank you, Chad. Have a great one.
Thanks, Phil.